Hey everybody, Nick here, and today we're going to do a little bit of disassembly and maintenance on this big guy right here. This is the Liong Mah KUF kitchen utility folder. So, yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it here. I'm going to go ahead and come at it from this top side here. You can see here that although there's a clip for both sides, which makes this knife a little more ambidextrous, because ambidextrous opening and whatnot. Oh, interesting. Well, that side didn't want to come loose. There we go. This guy's loose at least. But there is only the two screws here. There's this screw over here in the back, and then there is the pivot. Wondering whether the pivot... Really? Interesting. That's really fighting me. Maybe the pivot is T9? Would that fit better? There we go. Yeah, it's T9, and it's free spinning, which is not great. Okay, so that was easy. Okay, take it apart, and we see that, well, it's pretty straightforward. Oh, this grease, though. No wonder it's running a little slow. It's actually my reason for doing this primarily. I mean, and as I've said many times before, my reason for doing these disassemblies is not just because I like taking things apart. I mean, I sure do. But it helps me to evaluate knives on an even keel. This guy came to me actually directly from Liong Mah, but it seems like it's had some use. Just fine. I'm happy to see that. The thing is, though, I just want to make sure that every knife I review is in a comparable condition. Pardon me. And so, as a result, doing these little disassemblies allow me to go through and just double check and to make sure that, you know, I'm not comparing apples to oranges. I'm not comparing a knife that's been ridden hard and put to bed wet to a knife that's, you know, fresh from the factory. Or maybe more importantly, comparing a knife that's fresh from the factory to one that's been used just a little bit gently and well maintained. And so, because oftentimes there is break-in, which is always tricky as a reviewer to deal with. At some level, you want to take factory state as being the optimum, but at some very real level, it isn't necessarily. So, but anyways, there are lots of variables up in the air, so to speak. But regardless, getting out this nasty yellow grease here, I don't know if that's from the factory or post-hoc sort of affair. It can't help, or I'm sorry, it can't hurt us. And will probably make this action way better. I'm just using 91% rubbing alcohol, and as always, if you're curious about any tool or substance I'm using during disassembly, I've got a video about disassembly tools that you should just go on ahead and check out, because it'll answer all your questions and even has links to buy things, which supports me and supports you. And that way you know you're getting the same cotton patch. Although it's a freaking cotton patch. You don't need to get the same one. Okay. Put a little booze on a cloth here. Just use that to clean off your bearings. Boom. Done. Same thing here. We can see ceramic bearings. Ceramic detent ball. Bearings don't matter as much. Detent ball is always nice to see. Relatively low lock bar protrusion and tension, nice over travel stop, some skeletonization. I mean, the knife is lightweight, 100%. No real complaining about that. Interesting cut on the carbon fiber, but, oh, say backspace is stiffener or something like that. Well, there we go. That was pretty straightforward. So, because this is the KUF, Kitchen Utility Folder, if you're planning to use it in the kitchen, always make sure that you're using a substance that is food safe. The nano oil that I tend to use indeed is. Oh, one thing to highlight here is we have a detent ball ramp, which is a nice thing to see always. So, but anyways, use a food-safe lubrication. You know, there are plenty of people who are advocates of, you know, firearms, lubrication, whatnot. I haven't tried them. Don't have them. But, you know, it's... Just make sure that you're not using something on your knife you wouldn't want to put in your stomach. I'm using 10-weight nano oil here. I'm just using this pen applicated, mostly because, well, it makes it a little harder for me to use too damn much of it, because that is a sin of mine. So, there we go. Go ahead and pop this washer back into place on the carbon fiber. There we go. And we are lubricated. Let's go ahead and put the... yeah, let's go ahead and put the pivot back in. Oh, I didn't clean the pivot. Huh? Details. Always more things to clean in life, alas. So this is actually interesting because I just took apart this little guy like 5 minutes ago, literally. The Liong Mah Endeavor, and it has the same pivot style that was as this guy, where one screw has been what feels like permanently affixed to this cylinder, and the other side is able to spin freely. And so that's kind of a cool, I don't know if it's cool, but it's an interesting, different approach. Use a little lubrication on here, both to help me get the pivot through, and so that the blade spins a little more readily. Doesn't need much. There we go. Alrighty. So, there we go. That little much can make a difference. Pop that on there. The 10-ball path is lubricated. Great. One thing that you can see when this happens is just how damn close this gets to the bottom there. I mean, the knife is up against the stop pin right now, and you can see that the blade is flush with the back of the knife. That is, sneak preview, absolutely ugly. That's, frankly, a little dangerous. You can see that they've left that portion of the blade unsharpened, but that's not something I like to see ever. And it's something that I hope is fixed in future iterations of this knife, because, oh boy. But anyways, we'll be coming back to that in the full review. It fell out, whatever. But for now, we'll just put it back together the rest of the way here. So I'm wondering if this guy then is T9 as well. No, this is T8. Okay, so T9 here. I have recently purchased, in a watershed moment for the channel, a second one of these little handles. Although this one's way deeper, which is weird. Whoa. Okay, guys, it's literally the first time I've used this, so we may have ourselves a little problem here. Hey, come on. I'm wondering whether I'm going to have to... Yeah, okay, well, whatever. Like, seriously, this thing is that freaking deep. I don't get this. But like I said, hey, whatever. Go ahead, put the T8 in here, and then the T8 will let me get this guy in. And I'll go ahead and use a little Loctite here. Your thread locker does not need to be food safe, unless you plan on eating screws, in which case, frankly, food safety is the least of your concerns. Let's pop this in here. Just roughly. And then pop the pivot in the other side, and again, use a little thread locker. Oh, there. This is a very, very shallow Torx screw. Very shallow indeed. Like, what I mean by that is that the hole on the top of it doesn't have a lot of depth to it. And that's not something I tend to love. It means poor engagement with the tool, generally. Whoa, that's way freaking better, though. Oh, yeah. That's much, much improved. Wait, really? No horizontal or vertical blade play. Whew. My God, that's nice. This is a very, very nice pivot now that everything's back together. Okay. Got... That's good to go. Centering is perfect. Wow. Okay, that's an improvement. Cool. Alrighty, so there you go. This is the why do I okay, so Lion Steel has the KUR and Liong Mah is the KUF. So I'm struggling not to say Lion Steel KUF. This is the Liong Mah. It says right here, trust what's on the blade. KUF, kitchen utility folder. That's how you disassemble and maintain it, and that's how you make the action way freaking better. Oh, wow. That got a lot nicer. Anyways, hope this has been interesting to you, and that you have yourselves an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.